Yeah. Yes, it's special to be filming at 9 a.m. Woke up to a migraine at like 2 a.m. So I could not pull it for 5 and 6. So feeling much better now. Praise God for sumatriptan, right? Anybody has to take that. That is fantastic. So back and eager to talk about this mental pursuit of fulfillment and satisfaction. Just kind of building off last week. So I hope you all have added to your list of things you can do to physically restore, get some energy. Maybe you took some time for margin and rest. I hope that's the case. This week, kind of different set of challenges, perhaps a harder set of challenges, but it really starts with some reflection, because I think this mental pursuit really comes down to, what do you do with the wisdom you gain? Right? Every event we go through, every experience we have leads to some knowledge or information. And what do you do with that meaning you take and apply it is just a short definition of wisdom. So as you apply that wisdom, it's going to have a big impact on your fulfillment or satisfaction. What are you thinking about yourself? What are you thinking about the events you've been through? What does it inform you about the future? So writing on Monday about a couple of different things, I would say it this way, and I say it carefully, that wisdom is possible after every event you ever go through, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, or trauma, or tragedy, whatever else. There is wisdom to gain from it. Now, it may not be immediate. I certainly acknowledge that. But over time, here's the second thing I was writing about, that your present circumstances often allow you to see something different a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Many times I'll be talking to adults who are like, this is what happened to me when I was a teenager, whatever the reason might be. And so it gives us an opportunity to say, well, what would you rescript in that? What would you do differently now with all of your success, with all of your skills, with all of your ability, all the wisdom, and really helping people go back and change some of those meanings. You can't change the event. It's happened, but it's factual, but you can change what you take from it and how you apply it differently now. So it's a delicate process, but it takes a little bit more effort. It takes a little bit more courage sometimes to be able to do that. But if you're able to do it, then the ceiling is going to be higher for your fulfillment and satisfaction, because you're not carrying with you a bunch of negative meanings about yourself or the world or other aspects of your future. So one of the ways to really apply this and dig into it a little bit is to encourage people to, number one, ask yourself, what are the wisdom pieces that have come out of some really key parts of my life? So whether they're good, that's easy to think of the wisdom to repeat. If they've been really hard or difficult, you probably have something you can take from that as you go forward. If that's too difficult, think, well, who's the wisest person I know, and can I go have some conversation with that person? I've watched them go through a bunch of stuff in life. I've appreciated things they've said to me, and spend some time, because there's probably some shared wisdom that comes to you that will help you start to rescript some of those meanings that you have. Just important. Again, this last week was about time management. Do you control your time in order to create space for positive energy and activities to come in? This week is like meaning management. Can you just not just carry with you every meaning that happened right after an event, but you're able to go back with courage and intention to start just filtering that out. Take the good ones with you, and if they're neutral, fine, you can build upon them. If they're negative, I encourage you to revisit that with someone that you care about, or someone that's knowledgeable in wisdom or helping you out. So as I was thinking about this idea about knowledge being information applied in the right way, it kind of took me into it. So like last week, we talked a little bit of some lighter facts. Here's another one. The context for this is an article written in 2017 about information when it comes to data storage, right? I have a new Samsung phone. It's 1 terabyte of memory, just for context, okay? Context. So here's 2017. This article is from 2017, and here's where it goes back. It was just citing the data growth that's happened over time. So in 1956, the first hard disk was invented with a writable platter. So the first time they could actually create something to hold some data was this plate-sized thing. Think of a record or a kitchen plate, 1956. 1963, the first compact audio cassette was invented by Philips. So as we talk about taping things, Bill, there we go, 1963. Yes. 1971, the first floppy disk was invented by IBM. Okay, floppy disk. Literally the floppy disk that you could hold in your hand, right? Some of us know what this is like, and some in other classes have to go in a museum and find them. 1980, the first compact disc was given to Sony, right? So the first CDs in 1980. 1984, the first CD-ROM was invented to store more data. 1994, the first compact flash possibility existed, which exists now on lots of computers. And then 1999, the first USB drive for portable storage came into being. I mean, those are very, very handy little things to have now, aren't they? And they get quite big. And then this article cites, in 2017, there's this rise of the cloud storage system. And they talk about the incredibleness of this. And here's the quote from it. It goes, people used to refer to megabytes and kilobytes, but now the standard is gigabytes and terabytes. The growth of massive computing systems like Google leads to petabytes, which is 1,000 terabytes. This is someone writing in 2017. And now there's cell phones we hold in our pocket that have that stuff, and just thinking of how incredible it is about data and how much information exists out there. So it's an interesting little thing to see how technology goes, but it's this illustration of just how much information we carry with us too. And what are you doing with that information? Are you just storing it? Are you revisiting it? Are you managing those meanings that you have? Because that's the key part of this week. Time management last week, meaning management this week. So it leads us to some questions this morning. The first one is simple. Where do you turn to when you need to make a wise decision? Who or what do you turn to when you're trying to make a wise decision? Where do you guys go? Sure. Yeah. Identification, talking to someone who's been there, done that, and seeing how they can help. Great example. Other ones? Who or what do you turn to when you're trying to make the wisest decision, putting knowledge into practice?
It used to be my mom, but her memory's going. So now it's probably my best friend that's known me for forever.
Okay. Those longevity relationships, wherever they may be. That's good. Any others?
How about just
Time? Thinking about it over time and
just wait and see what happens.
wait and see what happens.
Solve the problem.
It's another way. That's a little bit of wisdom applied, right? Don't rush into this. Don't make an impulsive decision. See what comes to light. We have this phrase, right? Sleep on it. See what it's like tomorrow, right? Those are good examples of just how to apply knowledge in the right way so that we can make the best decision. Because when we make a bad decision, a regretful one, then we have a meaning potentially that we have to deal with on the other side. So the second question, this one is probably at the heart of what we're talking about this week. Can you share a meaningful reframe or rescripting you did later on after you faced a hardship? People go through difficult things. Maybe they're hard on themselves early on, a few years pass or whatever, then they realize, I guess that wasn't as bad as I thought. Or I guess I learned a few things going through that difficult time. Or I can see how I am better, stronger, smarter, wiser now. Anything come to mind? Something initially that was seemingly empty or negative and has proven to be better than you thought later on?
I'm here because I shattered my leg and then lost my house, my farm, my dog, my truck, my girlfriend, everything I owned and left behind and ended up here. Now I can hang out with you guys.
Thanks for. Yeah. A profound one.
It all depends on your attitude, how you look at things.
Yeah.
Like I started getting migraines when I was a teenager. So I've had them for like 60 years. And I say to myself, when I was younger, I hated them. They were terrible and they were bad. But as you get older, you just say, at least I have my other health. You always look at it in a different perspective.
Yeah.
On the positive side.
Right. It's another simple way to describe what this week is about. Your attitudes, the way you approach something is going to matter. Do you see something for the negative part, right? Our culture has this phrase of, do you see life as the glass half empty or half full, Right? There are illustrations that way, and it's not meant to be just a kind of callous comment. It's true about how people address their life at that point. I really like that idea of what have you learned from that? How are you still the same person? How have you shown strength? What good has come out of that, whether for yourself or others? And that's important. And it's not something to be instilled. Even as a counselor, I don't try and tell people what the good that came out. I try and help them figure out what are things they identify. And when they identify it, it tends to be pretty satisfying and very helpful to be able to go forward. So the attitude's a good word. That meaning management. Don't be afraid to take a look at something and go back on it. So some final comments about why this week the mental pursuit is so essential. Because I think the wrong meetings really drain our passion for life. If you take something out and think, I am a failure, I screwed that up, I can't do anything, well then how much risk are you going to take moving forward? How much strength are you going to show in hardship? You might really retreat quickly. You might not be able to do the things you want to do, and life starts to shrink, and we don't want that. So guarding the meanings that you take, managing those, replacing those where you can, will help your passion to stay strong and consistent. Second, talking to someone about the lessons you've learned in life or listening to their lessons learned helps you increase that wisdom. So you have better preparation for the next time you face something difficult. This is where connection and conversation and transparency, that we'll talk more about next week, with emotional pursuit of fulfillment and satisfaction. You have to be willing to talk to people about the lessons you've learned, whether they are positive ones and you want to uplift somebody around you, or they're like, I'm never doing that again, and here's why. Because that helps people around you as well. And then finally, just the realization why this week is so important, because if we carry negative meanings with us all the time, it starts to take a toll on our physical health as well. Our energy dissipates. Mentally, we're just kind of stuck and locked into something, so it's hard to think differently. It's hard to take some of those risks. And that's why this theme of managing the meanings is so important. Because if you can unlock those and kind of start things flowing in the right direction again, you have a chance at that fulfillment and satisfaction. If you quit fighting, if you just accept it the way it is, then it's like a dead end. And your life satisfaction is just either capped off or it starts to dissipate over time because it just gets more and more discouraging. And we don't want that. And that's why we're talking about it this week. So time management, good thing to be focused on last week. Meaning management this week is going to be a nice additional layer of all of that. So it is really good to talk about it this way. Again, if you've been through really great things, easy to think of wisdom and you want to repeat that. But if it's been hard or difficult or even overwhelming, there's a meaning there that you can rescript, think about, talk to someone, and have it go a little better. So thanks for participating in that, sharing some of that. I encourage you to keep talking to one another, because the collective wisdom in this room is what guides people to really have a higher quality of life too. So good to see everybody. Have a good workout today, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks. All right, Bill.
All right, we're gonna go Madison.